The trial on Velraxa Prime Sergeant Adam Cross sat on the cold metal bench, his hands chained, his uniform torn and dirty. His head ached. His vision was still blurry from the flash bomb that had knocked him out during the ambush. Now, he was, deep inside an alien courtroom, on a planet he'd only heard about in war briefings. Velraxa Prime. The air smelled like burning herbs. The walls glowed with green light. Strange symbols floated in the air like mist. Before him stood a group of tall alien women dressed in shimmering robes. Their eyes glowed like stars and their faces were sharp but beautiful in a cold, distant way. These were not just any Velraxa females. These were the high judges, the tribunal. The central judge stepped forward. Her name was Judge Arva, and she held a long silver staff. Her voice echoed through the hall. "You have trespassed on sacred ground, human. You are a soldier of a hostile race. You brought weapons. You caused damage. What is your defense?" Adam tried to speak, but the translator device on his collar sparked. I didn't mean to crash here. My ship malfunctioned. I didn't fire on anyone. I was just trying to survive." The other judges murmured among themselves. "Judge." Arva raised her staff. "Human words, always excuses, always violence. Your presence here is a crime. And for crimes against the Velraxa, there is only one sentence." Adam swallowed hard. He was ready to hear the word execution. He had seen fellow soldiers die in alien prisons. He had prepared himself. But what she said next shook him to his core. "You must join the mating ritual." The chamber went quiet. Adam blinked. "Wait, what?" Judge Arva's eyes narrowed. "You heard correctly. Under our ancient laws, a captured male who is not to be executed must be bonded through the rite of service. You are now bound to the sacred trial of hearts. 3 Velraxa women will test your mind, spirit, and body. If you fail, all will die." Adam stared at her. "I didn't come here to hurt anyone, and now you're forcing me to, what, mate? Another." Judge stepped forward. Her voice was softer but still firm. "It is not what you think. Mating for us is not pleasure, it is connection, trust, suffering, healing. The ritual is sacred. If you cannot open your heart, if you lie, cheat, or fail to bond, the trial ends in death." Before he could respond, the guards came. They unlocked his chains and pulled him to his feet. He was led through glowing hallways, past strange blue trees growing inside the walls. Everything felt alive, watching him. Finally, they reached a crystal chamber. Inside, 3 alien women stood in silence. One was tall and muscular, with dark, purple skin and battle scars across her arms. Her eyes were full of fire. A warrior. The second wore a long robe. Her eyes were hidden behind a glowing veil. She held a book and looked cold and distant. A scholar, the third had soft silver hair and glowing fingers. She wore healer's robes and her eyes were filled with sadness and anger. Adam was pushed inside. "These are your trials," a voice said behind him. "Survive or perish." The crystal door closed. The warrior stepped forward. "My name is Silene. I fought humans in the war. I saw what your kind did to our cities." Adam held up his hands. "I didn't fight in those battles. I don't care," she snapped. "If you touch me while I sleep, I will break your bones." The scholar spoke next. "I am Vera. I lost my bondmate because of your people. I have no interest in love, only in truth. If you lie, I will know." The healer spoke last. "I am Thalexa. I patch wounds. I know how pain works. Do not try to play hero here. You're no savior." Adam looked at all 3. "Then why am I here?" Silene crossed her arms. "Because our laws are older than you can imagine, and because sometimes, even monsters must be tested." He stepped back and sat on the edge of the chamber. His thoughts were racing. He didn't ask for this. He didn't want to be here. But if what they said was true, if he failed, they would all die. Adam looked up. I'm not here to hurt anyone, he said softly. I don't know your customs, but I'll try to understand. The three alien women exchanged glances. None of them smiled. But for a moment the room felt less cold. Suddenly the lights dimmed. The trial had begun, and Adam Cross had no idea what he'd just walked into. The ritual explained. Adam woke to a soft humming sound. The walls of the crystal chamber were glowing faintly blue now, like moonlight through water. He had barely slept. The floor was hard, and he had kept one eye open all night, watching Celine. She had curled up in the corner, her hand still gripping the handle of a curved blade. The other two, Vera and Thalexa, had not spoken a word. They stayed on opposite sides of the room, like three stars that would never orbit the same sun. Suddenly, the door opened. A tall alien woman stepped inside. She looked older than the others, with long silver horns and robes that shimmered like the night sky. Her presence made even Celine sit up straighter. I am Elder Jara, she said, voice calm but strong. I will explain what the ritual truly means. Adam stood, still unsure what to expect. Jara looked at him carefully. You think this is about breeding, human, about some forced relationship. But it is not. The mating ritual of Velraxa is a trial of truth. It is sacred. In ancient times, our people fought constantly. Males and females were separated. The ritual was made to rebuild trust, to unite broken people. She looked at the three women beside him. Celine, the warrior. She trusts no one but her blade. Vera, the scholar. She lost her heart to the war. And Thalexa, the healer. She sees suffering but no hope. Each one has chosen to join this trial to heal, or to die. Adam frowned. And what do you want from me? Jara's glowing eyes locked on his. Not your body, your soul, your honesty, your choices. You must spend time with each one. Not as a soldier. As a man. You will speak. Listen. Learn. If even one believes your heart is false, the trial ends. All four of you die. He swallowed hard. So I'm their last chance? Jara nodded. And they are yours. She turned to leave but paused. Tonight, your first trial begins. You will sit with Celine. Do not try to impress her. Do not lie. She will know. The door closed and silence returned. Celine didn't look at him at first. She picked up her sword and ran her fingers along the edge. You've never fought in close combat, have you? Adam hesitated. Not hand to hand, no. I'm a scout. Figures, she muttered. Soft hands. Clean voice. The kind of man who hides behind machines. He didn't argue. He sat on the floor near her, but not too close. You think I hate you? She said without looking at him. Adam shrugged. You kind of do. Celine let out a dry laugh. No, I don't hate you, I just don't trust your kind. When the humans came, they promised peace. And then they brought bombs. Adam looked down. I didn't drop any bombs, I lost people too. My brother was burned alive when your fighters hit our outpost. Her hand froze. She looked at him. Really looked at him. You lost a brother? He nodded. For a while they sat in silence. I was trained to kill, she said softly. But I never liked it. I was good at it, though. Too good. That's why they chose me for this ritual. They thought maybe I could remember how to feel. Adam took a deep breath. And if I fail? Celine's voice was quiet now. Then I guess I was never meant to be more than a weapon. Adam slowly reached into his pocket. The guards hadn't taken everything. He pulled out a small metal disc and pressed a button. A soft tune began to play. It was old Earth music, a gentle piano melody. Celine stared at it. What is that? A song my mother used to play when I was scared. She believed music healed, what words couldn't. For the first time, Celine smiled. Just a little. That's strange, but not terrible. They listened in silence. When the song ended, Celine stood up. I won't kill you tonight, she said. But that doesn't mean I trust you. Adam nodded. Fair enough. She turned and walked away. But just before she laid down to sleep, again she said something soft, so soft he barely caught it. Maybe you're not like the others. Adam lay down, heart racing. The first trial wasn't over, but something had changed. Not just in her, in him. He was beginning to understand. This wasn't just about survival anymore, it was about connection. The second trial. A wounded soul Adam awoke to silence. The room had changed again. The glowing walls were now a soft yellow, like early morning sunlight. But it wasn't morning. Not here. Time didn't work the same way inside the crystal chamber. Silene was gone. In her place sat the scholar, Vera. She was already awake, sitting cross-legged, a glowing book floating in front of her. Her fingers moved in the air as she turned the pages with a silent wave. Her face was blank, not angry, not kind, just empty. Adam sat up slowly. His muscles ached. Good morning, he said. Vera didn't look up. Time is not measured the same on Velraxa. Do not speak of mornings here. He nodded awkwardly. Okay, no morning talk. More silence. Adam glanced at her book. The words were in alien script, but he could see a few drawings, faces, symbols, war scenes. What are you reading? She turned a page. Records of the humans we lost. Adam's voice dropped. I'm sorry. She looked at him now. Her eyes were sharp like blades. Don't apologize, it means nothing. Say something useful. He swallowed. What do you want me to say? Vera stood and walked closer. Her voice was calm, but her eyes burned. This trial is not about comfort. It's not about warmth. I won't cry in your arms like some broken soul. I am here to test your truth, nothing else. Adam nodded slowly. Then test me. She circled him like a teacher examining a slow student. Tell me about your war, she said. I was a scout, he replied. My job was to scan for danger. I didn't shoot unless I had to. She frowned. Did you ever kill? He hesitated. Yes. Vera stopped walking. How many? Adam looked at the floor. I don't know. She snapped her fingers. Wrong answer. You do know. Every honest soldier remembers their kills. Whether 1 or 100, they stay in the heart. Adam raised his eyes. 6, I remember 6. And what were they doing? He whispered. One had a weapon raised. The others, some were just running. Vera didn't blink. Then why did you shoot? I thought they would come back with weapons. I panicked. I made a choice. She leaned in close. Did you regret it? Adam didn't answer. Her voice softened. Regret is the beginning of truth, human. He finally whispered. Yes? I regret it every day. Vera stepped back and sat down. Her hands trembled a little. Her voice was quiet now. My bondmate was in a medical tent when your drone struck. He wasn't holding a weapon. He was holding a child's drawing. Adam felt a knife twist in his chest. I'm sorry, he said again, but this time the words were real. Vera closed her eyes. He believed in peace. He believed humans and Velraxa could learn from each other. But his body burned before he got to finish his letter. Adam moved closer, careful not to touch her. If I had died in your place, he said, what would you want from me? She opened her eyes. To remember. To carry the weight. And never let it happen again. Adam nodded. Then I will. A long silence followed. Then Vera looked at the floating book. With a gentle motion, she turned it toward him. The page showed the drawing her bondmate had been holding. Simple lines, a Velraxa child standing next to a human. It was for our future child, she said softly. Adam stared at it. It's beautiful. Her voice cracked. No one has said that before. He looked at her. Then they should have. For a moment, the crystal walls pulsed softly, like they were breathing with emotion. Vera stood up. Her voice was still calm, but her eyes were no longer empty. "You may leave. For now." Adam nodded and stepped back. But just before the door opened, Vera spoke again. "Truth is painful," she said. "But in pain, I finally saw you." He turned confused. "Saw me?" She looked straight at him. "Not a soldier, not a human, just someone who still feels." The door closed behind him, and for the second time Adam realized this wasn't about winning their approval. It was about earning their trust, one scar at a time. The third woman, the healer who had Adam, stepped into a new room. The crystal. Walls here glowed a soft green like sunlight shining through leaves. The air smelled like herbs and something sweet but strange. It was quiet, peaceful, but heavy, like something was hiding underneath. Sitting near a pool of glowing water was Thalexa, the healer. She didn't look at him. Her back was straight. Her long silver hair was braided with glowing vines. Her fingers moved slowly over small jars filled with powders and liquids. She was working, calm, careful, but her silence was cold. Adam cleared his throat. "Thalexa." She didn't stop. "Sit. Don't talk unless it's important." He quietly sat down across from her. The water beside them bubbled softly. She picked up a vial and poured a few drops into the pool. The water turned purple for a moment, then back to green. He watched her. She moved with precision, like someone who had done this thousands of times. There was something beautiful about the way her hands worked, but also something sad. After a long silence, she finally spoke. "You fixed the warrior with kindness," she said. "You touched the scholar with truth. But I am not like them." Adam stayed still. "Then how are you different?" Thalexa's eyes finally met his. They were sharp, deep, tired. "I've seen too much pain. I've held broken bodies in my arms. I've watched children die while screaming for mothers who were already gone. Humans caused most of it." He lowered his head. "I believe you." She raised a brow. "You believe, or you understand." He paused, then answered, "I want to understand." She studied him for a moment, then tossed a small pouch toward him. "Good. Then start by helping. Mix that powder with the blue root." Adam opened the pouch. It smelled terrible, like smoke and mold. He found a blue root on the table, mashed it with a flat stone, and mixed the powder in as she watched. "You've done this before?" she asked. "No. I'm just following your hands." Thalexa raised an eyebrow. "Huh. At least you don't pretend to know everything. That's rare for your kind." He gave a small smile. "I've been wrong before. A lot." For a few minutes, they worked together in silence. She handed him herbs. He crushed, stirred, and poured. Slowly, the space between them began to feel less cold. But suddenly she froze. Her hand hovered over a small glowing band. A bracelet. It looked old, worn, special. She didn't move for a long time. Adam watched her. "Is that important?" She nodded slowly. "It belonged to my daughter." His heart skipped. "You have a daughter?" "Had." Her voice cracked for the first time. "She was 6. I gave her this the day before your warships came. We were running for the shelters. She fell. I picked her up. I carried her. But a wall collapsed." She stopped talking. Adam didn't speak. He just listened. "I tried to heal her," she whispered. "I used every herb, every trick. I begged the stars, but her little chest never moved again." A tear fell down her cheek, but she quickly wiped it away. "I swore I'd never care again. Not for humans. Not for anyone." Adam reached out, very slowly. He placed the bracelet gently in front of her, not touching her, just returning it with care. "She must have loved you very much," he said softly. Thalexa looked at him. Her eyes were full of pain. "She did. And I failed her." Adam shook his head. "No. You carried her. You tried. That's not failure. That's love. The room was quiet again. The pool beside them glowed a gentle purple now, as if reacting to the moment. Alexa stared at the water. I'm not here to be healed. I'm here to see if humans can care. Adam nodded. And, if we can't, she looked into his eyes, then nothing in this galaxy will ever change. He didn't know what else to say, so he picked up another root and continued helping her prepare the mixtures, one after another, in silence, like old friends working through pain. After a while, she broke the silence. You're clumsy, she said. He chuckled. I get that a lot. But you're trying. Yes, I am. Alexa looked at him for a long moment. Then she said something he didn't expect. If my daughter had lived, I think she would have liked you. Adam felt a lump in his throat. She stood up and turned toward the crystal wall. You may leave now, she said softly. But if you come back, bring gentler hands. He nodded and walked toward the door. Before stepping out, he looked back. Once, Alexa was staring at the bracelet, and for the first time, her shoulders were not so heavy. The final judgment. Begins. Adam stood alone in the glowing hallway outside the chamber. 3 doors, 3 women, 3 stories that now lived in his heart. The warrior who slept with a knife under her pillow. The scholar who carried her lovers, ashes in her thoughts. The healer who had buried her child with her own trembling hands. He had shared their pain, sat with their silence, listened without trying to fix what couldn't be fixed. And now, he had no idea what came next. The door in front of him opened. 2 guards, both female, motioned for him to follow. They led him through spiraling tunnels, glowing symbols floating in the air, soft chanting in a language he didn't understand. He could feel the energy changing around him. Something important was about to happen. Finally, they entered a high chamber, twice as tall as any before. Glowing fire orbs floated near the ceiling. Strange white trees grew from the floor, wrapped in silver vines. In the center stood a large, stone platform with 3 crystal thrones, the tribunal, the high judges. All 3 women he had met, Celine, Vera, and Alexa, stood silently at the sides of the room, dressed in ceremonial robes. Their eyes followed him, unreadable. The head judge, Arva, raised her staff. Adam Cross, she said, her voice echoing. The 3 women of the ritual have spoken. The time has come to choose. Adam frowned. Choose. Judge Arva nodded. Only one woman may complete the bonding. The others must return to their lives. You must choose which one to take your hand. Adam looked at the women. Celine's jaw clenched. Vera folded her arms. Alexa turned her eyes away. Adam felt his heart sink. No, he said. The tribunal stirred. Judge Arva narrowed her eyes. No, I won't choose one and throw the others away. They all trusted me. They all showed me something no war ever could. I won't dishonor that. A murmur spread through the tribunal. Even the guards looked surprised. One of the younger judges leaned in and whispered to Arva, but Arva held up her hand. This is the law of Velraxa. It has been this way for thousands of years. One bond, one path. Adam stepped forward. Then, your law is broken. These women are not objects. They are not prizes. They are survivors. He looked at Celine. She doesn't need a protector. She needs someone who respects her fire. He looked at Vera. She needs someone who remembers, not someone who tries to erase pain. And then at Alexa. She needs gentle hands and a heart that listens without rushing to heal. Adam turned to the judges. They don't need me, but I need them. I need to be better because of them. All of them. Silence. Long, deep, heavy. Then Judge Arva rose from her throne. Her face was unreadable. You defy our oldest rule, human. You refuse the sacred law. Adam didn't move. Then punish me. But I won't choose just one. I won't lie to gain freedom. Suddenly, one of the crystal thrones cracked down the middle. A pulse of light moved through the floor. Everyone froze. The trees shimmered. The vines glowed brighter. Elder Jara entered from behind the chamber. She raised her hand. Let him finish. Arva looked at her. The ritual cannot be undone. Jara smiled gently. No, but it can be reborn. She turned to Adam. You were never here to bond with one. You were sent to see if your kind could still feel, still change, still honor. Adam's eyes widened. So, this was a test? Jara nodded. Yes. And you passed, not because you chose, but because you refused to choose. Judge Arva stared at him for a long moment. Then, slowly, she raised her staff and struck the floor once. Then let it be known, she said. Today a new path has been opened, one forged not by rule, but by understanding. She looked at the women. Celine, Vera, Thalexa. You may choose your own future, with him or without. All three women stepped forward. None of them knelt. None of them wept. But they stood beside Adam, not as his mates, as his equals. Together they turned to the tribunal, and the galaxy began to shift. The fire from above, just as peace was beginning, to form inside the chamber. The ground trembled. The glowing vines above shook. Dust rained down. One of the fire orbs crashed to the floor and shattered into sparks. A loud alarm began to howl, a deep, warlike siren that echoed through the entire city. Everyone froze. Judge Arva's staff glowed red. What is happening? A young guard ran into the chamber, face pale, voice shaking. Hi, Judge. A human warship just entered our sky. They're armed. They are demanding the return of Sergeant Adam Cross. Adam's blood ran cold. No, they weren't supposed to find me. Jara's eyes narrowed. They came for you? I didn't tell them anything, Adam said quickly. They must have tracked the escape pod. I thought it was destroyed. Judge, Arva turned to the tribunal. Prepare the Sky Guardians. No, Adam stepped forward. They'll see you preparing weapons. They'll think it's a trap and attack first. The air around them was now thick with tension. Jara spoke, calmly but firmly. Then go. Speak to them. You are the bridge between fire and peace now. I'm still their enemy to them, Adam replied. I was listed missing in action. They don't know what I've seen here. They won't listen. A sharp voice cut through the room. They'll listen, said Celine, stepping beside him, placing a warrior's blade in his hand. If they see we trust you, Vera joined him too. Then let us show them what understanding looks like. Thalexa gave a slow nod. Let me speak for the wounded. I will not let more blood fall today. The four of them stood together, an image no one on either side had ever seen before. A human soldier beside three powerful alien women, united by something far stronger than weapons. The landing platform stood high above the Velroxa city. Giant black warship hovered overhead. It blocked out the sky. Red targeting lasers danced across the buildings below. Adam stood at the edge of the platform with his hands raised. This is Sergeant Adam Cross, ID 342 Delta, he said into the communicator. I am alive. Do not fire. I repeat, do not fire. There was a long pause. Then a voice replied. Adam, confirm identity. I broke my left rib during the Zedine Ridge escape. I told you my mother's piano music kept me sane in the bunk. That enough? Silence again. Then, you're really alive? Yes. And I'm not your prisoner. I'm not theirs either. I'm something else now. Adam, step away from the aliens. We're pulling you out now. Adam looked at Celine, Vera, and Thalexa. No, he said. I said step away, Sergeant, the voice barked. I can't, Adam replied, voice steady. These women saved me, taught me things our leaders never did. If you attack now, you'll destroy a chance for peace. We didn't come to negotiate. We came to bring you home. Adam took a deep breath. Then I'm already home. Suddenly, the warship's cannons began to hum. Red lights glowed brighter. The ship prepared to fire. Celine stepped forward, eyes blazing. I'll take them down. Adam grabbed her arm. Wait. He looked back at the ship. You want proof? Proof I'm not brainwashed? That this isn't a trick? He turned to Vera. Give me the signal torch. Vera handed him a small crystal rod. He raised it high. If you believe I'm acting on my own, Adam shouted into the communicator. Watch this. He threw the torch high into the air. It exploded into a brilliant golden light. A symbol formed in the sky, half human, half Velroxa, the symbol of unity. A long, deep silence followed. Then the warship's hum faded. The red lights blinked out. The voice returned, softer now. Standing down, awaiting new orders. Adam let out a breath he didn't realize he was holding. Celine looked impressed. You're lucky. That almost got us all killed. Or saved everything, Vera said. Thalexa touched his shoulder. You didn't fight them. You showed them your heart. Judge Arva's voice echoed from behind. Then perhaps, this ritual is greater than we imagined. Jara smiled. Today, we didn't just stop a war. We planted something new. As the warship pulled back into the clouds, the Velroxa city lights shined brighter. For the first time in generations, there was hope, built not on old laws, but on a human's courage, and the trust of 3 alien women who once called him their enemy, a new name for peace. The sun rose slowly over Velroxa Prime. For the first time in many years, it was not the beginning of war, but the start of something new. Adam stood on a balcony made of crystal stone, looking out over the alien city. Birds with glowing wings flew between the tall silver towers. Markets opened. Children laughed. Life returned like the planet had been holding its breath for too long. Behind him, the tribunal hall prepared for its most important ceremony in centuries. Human and 3 alien women had changed everything. Inside, Judge Arva adjusted her robes. Elder Jara stood beside her, smiling quietly. The ritual is complete, Arva said to the audience of both humans and Velroxa. But not in the way it was written. A new bond has formed, not between man and woman, but between people who dared to understand one another. The hall was filled with hundreds, alien leaders, human commanders. News drones floated silently in the air, capturing every moment. It was history now. Adam stepped forward, dressed in white robes, given by the elders. They felt strange on his skin but right in his heart. He looked to his side. Celine wore ceremonial armor, no longer for war but for honor. Vera carried her late bondmate's book, now rewritten with a new ending. Thalexa wore the tiny bracelet of her daughter around her wrist, and a soft smile on her lips. Together they walked to the center of the hall. Judge Arva lifted her staff. Sergeant Adam Cross, you came to this world as an enemy. You now stand before us as something else. What do you choose? Adam took a deep breath. I choose to stay. A wave of murmurs moved through the room. I have seen what war takes, he said, and I have seen what healing needs. It needs time. It needs courage. And it needs people who are willing to stop fighting and start listening. He looked at the human generals watching from the balcony. I will not return to Earth as a soldier. I will remain here. As a bridge. Jara nodded proudly. Then from this day you are no longer just Adam Cross. You are Kinbinder, a title once held by the few who united worlds. The audience stood and clapped their hands, some with fingers, others with claws or glowing palms. Adam bowed. Later that night the stars returned. The 4 of them, Adam, Celine, Vera, and Thalexa, sat around a quiet fire outside the city. No guards, no judges. Just the 4 souls who had survived the ritual together. Celine tossed a small fruit into the flames. You're lucky, you know. If you had chosen me back then, I might have broken your arm. Adam chuckled. I believe it. Vera smirked. And if you had picked me, I'd have tested you with riddles until you begged for silence. Thalexa smiled. I wouldn't have said a word, just made you eat my worst medicine. They all laughed together. Adam looked at them. Really looked. Celine's eyes no longer burned with rage. Vera's voice no longer trembled with grief. Thalexa's shoulders no longer bent under sadness. And maybe his own face no longer looked lost. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a small object, a piece of his broken ship, the only thing left from his past life. He threw it into the fire. It cracked loudly, then disappeared. Goodbye, soldier, he whispered. Celine leaned back. What now? Adam stared at the sky. Now, we build something better. Vera nodded. Not with weapons, Thalexa added. Not with fear. Adam smiled. With trust. And as the stars blinked above, them human stars and alien stars, the fire between them burned warm and bright.